The world is holding its breath as US and Chinese officials meet in Sweden. These talks could reshape the global economy, affecting everything from the price of our phones to the jobs we hold. For years, the US and China have been locked in a trade dispute, slapping tariffs on each other's goods and raising costs worldwide. The stakes are high. A breakthrough could mean lower prices and stable markets, while failure could trigger a global slowdown. This isn't just about money. It's a clash of economic visions. The US, under President Trump, wants to rewrite the rules, claiming the current system is unfair. China, with its state-driven model, is determined to protect its rise. The Stockholm talks are a last-ditch effort to avoid chaos and find common ground. Every nation is watching because the outcome will shape the world's economic future. America's recent tariff changes have pulled in allies like Canada, Mexico, and Europe, turning a two-country dispute into a global puzzle. President Trump's bold moves have forced leaders everywhere to make tough choices. How countries like Canada respond reveals the new realities of global power and trade. The US-China relationship is the world's most important, and how they manage their differences will define a generation. The world is no longer just a spectator. Everyone is now a player in this high-stakes game. The decisions made here will ripple through every economy. The world waits, hoping for cooperation over conflict. The future of global trade hangs in the balance. All eyes are on Stockholm. In Stockholm, US and Chinese officials have wrapped up another tense round of talks. The language is cautious, but there's a hint of progress. With a fragile truce set to expire soon, the world is watching for signs of a breakthrough. Rare earth minerals, vital for tech products, are a sticking point. China controls the supply, and the US wants access. The US also demands China reform its state-driven economy, a tough ask. Despite the challenges, both sides see the possibility of a deal, perhaps a 90-day extension to keep talking. President Trump wants a win for American workers. China wants growth without appearing weak. The negotiations are a high-stakes chess match with every move scrutinized. Previous talks in Geneva and London set the stage, focusing on reducing tariffs and easing tech restrictions. Both countries have imposed barriers, but the fact that they're still talking is a positive sign. Even small gestures, like meetings between industry leaders, show a desire to keep dialogue open. The world is desperate for stability, and these talks offer a sliver of hope. A deal won't solve everything, but it could buy time and prevent escalation. The outcome will affect global supply chains, prices, and jobs. The next few days are critical. Will diplomacy win out, or will the trade war deepen? The answer will shape the economic landscape for years. The world holds its breath. Just as talks offered hope, President Trump upended global trade with sweeping new tariffs. Overnight, taxes on goods from over 70 countries jumped, some as high as 40%. Allies weren't spared. Canada faces a 35% tariff, the EU 15%, and Japan and South Korea struck costly deals to avoid worse. Mexico got a brief reprieve. India faces steep penalties. Key products like copper were hit hard, sending prices tumbling. Even online shoppers will soon pay more, as tax-free imports are ending. This aggressive strategy is central to Trump's America First approach, using tariffs to force better deals. Supporters say it protects US jobs. Critics warn it raises prices and disrupts supply chains. The policy is controversial and faces legal challenges. The world's trading system has been jolted and uncertainty reigns. Every country must now rethink its strategy. The global order is being rewritten in real time. Canada, hit hard by new US tariffs, refuses to back down. Prime Minister Mark Carney signals he won't rush into a bad deal, even if it means short-term pain. Canada's recent support for Palestinian statehood has further strained relations, linking trade talks to foreign policy. President Trump warns this stance could stall a trade agreement, raising the stakes for both sides. Despite the pressure, Canada remains calm and resolute, avoiding public confrontations. Officials believe giving in now would set a dangerous precedent. Canada's deep economic ties with the US provide some leverage. Energy and raw materials still flow south. Carney, known for his steady hand, is betting that long-term interests outweigh immediate costs. The government is prepared to absorb economic pain to defend sovereignty and principles. This is a defining moment for Canada's leadership. The risks are real. Businesses and jobs are on the line. But Canada is determined to stand its ground. Mark Carney's Carney Doctrine is guiding Canada's response. With deep experience in global finance, Carney knows the North American economy is tightly linked. He refuses to let Canada be bullied. Tariffs are seen as pressure to bend on both trade and foreign policy. By holding firm, Canada asserts its independence and sends a message. Principles aren't for sale. The government is preparing support for affected industries and working to diversify trade beyond the U.S. Carney's team believes the U.S. will also feel the pain, as American businesses face higher costs. This is a long game. Canada is betting on a more stable future, not a rushed deal under pressure. The strategy is risky, but it's about protecting sovereignty and keeping options open. Patience and resilience are key, even as economic pressure mounts. The Carney doctrine is about enduring short-term pain for long-term gain. Canada is determined to chart its own course. Trade wars aren't just headlines, they hit everyday people and businesses. Tariffs raise costs for importers who pass them on to consumers. Prices for groceries, electronics, and more are already rising. Companies like Procter & Gamble and L'Oreal are hiking prices, blaming tariffs. Builders face higher costs for materials like copper, making homes more expensive. Canadian exporters struggle to compete, risking layoffs and closures. Even global giants like BMW report falling profits due to trade barriers. Uncertainty makes it hard for businesses to plan or invest. The IMF warns this instability threatens global growth. For workers, job security is at risk as factories scale back. The end of tax-free online shopping will hit family budgets. These are the real consequences. Trade wars ripple through every community. The impact is personal, immediate, and far-reaching. We're at a turning point in global trade. Decisions in Washington, Beijing, and Ottawa will shape the economy for years. The old system of free trade is under threat, and the outcome will determine if we move toward cooperation or conflict. North America's economies are deeply connected. High tariffs could unravel decades of integration. Canada's stand is a test. Can a middle power defend its interests against a superpower? The world is watching US-China talks for signs of stability or deeper division. A deal could restore confidence. Failure could fracture the global economy. The stakes go beyond trade. Global challenges like climate change require cooperation. The choices made now will define the next generation's opportunities. The world is at a crossroads, and the path we choose matters for everyone.